Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. Gesundte Winter. Good Yar. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the subject of whether you say Tachnun after Sukkos. So the first thing is, in most shuls, they are not going to be saying Tachnun today, for the simple reason that why say it if anyone ever thought about not saying it, why say it? But the question is, what is the halacha? Should one say Tachnun today or not? So first thing is, what does the Shulchan Aruch say? That's always a good place to look. Shulchan Aruch in Siman Kuf Lamed Aleph says, Minag Pashat Shaloi Lipa Al Pneim B'chol Chodesh Nisan V'loi B'Tisha B'Av V'loi Bein Yom Kippur L'Sukkos. What do you think the Shulchan Aruch says? Shulchan Aruch says you don't say it in Chodesh Nisan, you don't say it on Tisha B'Av, and you don't say it between Yom Kippur and Sukkos. So what do you think the Shulchan Aruch says about after Sukkos? Obviously, the Shulchan Aruch says you have to say it after Sukkos. That's clear. Shulchan Aruch paskins and writes explicitly, you have to say Tachnun today. What does the Mishnah Berurah say? Mishnah Berurah says nothing. Therefore, the psak of the Mishnah Berurah is you say Tachnun today. So it's basically case closed. The Mishnah Berurah paskins, you say Tachnun. Ad kedei kach, he does not even bring any opinion that you should not, meaning he does not feel it's even a legitimate opinion, la halacha. So we're starting off with the bottom line. The bottom line is Shulchan Aruch and the Mishnah Berurah say you do say Tachnun. What's interesting is that the Magen Avram in Siman Tafrei Samach Tes and the Pri Chadash here in Siman Kuf Lamed Aleph brings that there are places that do not say Tachnun. Says the Chasam Sofer, and the reason I'm bringing this in, I wasn't going to speak about this morning, but the Shas Shuv's Chasam Sofer, Chashmir Siman Ayin Zayin, writes, Minhag Ashkenaz is not to say Tachnun. So it's mamish lahepach of what's going on in the world. In most Ashkenaz shuls, they do say Tachnun. In most Sfard shuls, they don't say Tachnun. But actually, Minhag Ashkenaz is not to say Tachnun. And the reason why that's ironic is today's Chasam Sofer's Yahrtzeit. So Chasam Sofer legislated that on his Yahrtzeit, the minhag is not to say Tachnun. So even before the Chasam Sofer passed away, he wrote Minhag Ashkenaz is not to say Tachnun. Lamaisa, if you look around, most Ashkenaz, in yeshivas, they definitely do say Tachnun. In shuls, pretty often they will not. Shari Tshuva brings the minhag not to say Tachnun from the Shiurim Knesset Hagdola. And the reason being, because there are a lot of Yomim Tovim in the month. Okay, obviously we know that flies in the face of the famous Sfar of the Beis Yosef by Chodesh Nisan, Hol v'yatsa roiv hachodesh b'kedusha, which by the way does not apply to Tishrei, because you only have, it may or may not. Okay, that's an interesting discussion, because you have 2 days Rosh Hashanah, you have Erev Yom Kippur, you have Yom Kippur, you have the 4 days in between, you have another 8, so I'm up to 8. You have another 8 days of Sukkos, is 16. Plus Yisru Chag is 17. So you also have Roiv when it comes to Sukkos. The only thing is, we once explained that you don't have, it's really not a Roiv, it's a Miyot and a Miyot. You don't have a consecutive Roiv, like by Nisan. By Nisan you have a consecutive Roiv. Unless you say you have Erev Yom Kippur, 4 days in between, 8 days of Sukkos, and this Chag. Is that going to get it for you? Let's think. The 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. I'm up to 6. I have another 8 days of Sukkos, is 14. I have Simchas Torah 15 and Yisru Chag 16. Unless it goes by, it goes by Eretz Yisrael. So you don't have Roiv necessarily, because it's Malay, the month is Malay. You only have 15 really in Eretz Yisrael. So l'chayr you could say it goes by. In other words, why doesn't the Sfar of the Beis Yosef apply to Tishrei? L'chayr because Tishrei is 30 days and you only have 15 in Eretz Yisrael. L'chayr would go by Eretz Yisrael. Okay, but be it as it may, the Shari Tshuva brings another Sfar not to say Tachnun in the name of the Seder Hayom. Because since this month came in affliction, Rosh Hashanah, Aseret Tshuva, Yom Kippur, therefore it needs to go out b'simcha. Okay? Rabbi Chil Michal Tikachinsky said that the minhag is that just like on Shavuos, we don't say Tachnun according to some for 7 days because you could be mashlim the carbon of Shavuos, you also have 7 days to be mashlim the carbon of Shmini Atzeres. Okay. In the Sefer Mituv Yerushalayim, he brings that the Aderes was the father-in-law of Rav Kook, one of the Gedolei Yerushalayim. He wanted to be Masakein to say Tachnun during these days, and Rav Shmuel Salan said Chalila to be Meshane Minhag Yerushalayim. Minhag Yerushalayim is not to say Tachnun. However, comes the Aruch HaShulchan and he says Ein Minhag Ze Iker. There's no source not to say Tachnun. And the Chazon Ish said Tachnun. Bottom line is, Shulchan Aruch says you do say Tachnun. The Mishnah Berurah says you do say Tachnun. The Aruch HaShulchan says you do say Tachnun. And if you're going to say Minhag America is determined by the Ezras Torah Luach, who says that Thursday, Erev Rosh Chodesh, by Mincha, you don't say Tachnun. So obviously the Ezras Torah Luach says that this week you do say Tachnun. So if you want to know what does the halacha say for America, for sure, to say Tachnun. Be it as it may, this will probably be the last time you'll say Tachnun this week. Considering that we don't have a regular minyan here. But one day, you'll be saying Tachnun more than just today. Okay, so that's the first offering.